Hello, everyone, and to any other fellow gamers or Trek heads who wanted to come take a look at this, thanks for joining in today. Heir of Carthage here, I guess in this case, Heir of the Federation. So I've played 15 hours of Star Trek Infinite now, just kind of playing through what little spare time I had, because I really enjoyed it. So this was one that I didn't have to play. I didn't make like an agreement to play this. Someone didn't hand me a key. I purchased this game off Steam. I like Star Trek. I like strategy games, and I wanted to give it a shot. I was a little bit worried because Paradox strategy games are difficult for me to comprehend. This one is a little simpler than that. I did do a stream on it if you want to go watch some more of that gameplay, but I figured this would be a good time for me to give you some thoughts after about 15 hours. Now, 15 hours is not enough time for me to give this some kind of comprehensive review, and then also, I feel like I should make it apparent what my perspective is. I am not a good Paradox game player. I do not have much experience in them. I have never once played Stellaris. So if you're coming at this thinking, oh, this guy will tell me whether this is better than Stellaris or whether I should just get the mod on Stellaris, I have absolutely no perspective on that because I just can't speak to it. Now, the other Paradox games that I've played a little bit of, I played a little bit of Imperator Rome, I played a little bit of Crusader King... Is it Crusader Kings, whatever, 3, and I played just a tiny bit of Victoria 3, so that's really my only other experience in the Paradox games. This one was simpler, easier to grasp, and then because I was a big fan of Star Trek TNG, it made it a lot of fun because all of the events and stuff are based in the mission tree, for instance. It's all based around the TV show, and it makes it fun to do these things. Now, I've yet to play as the Cardassians, Romulans, or Klingons, which are the other 3 playable factions, and I will be playing as them. In fact, I intend to do a stream maybe later this week where I play as those factions. So when we get there, I will show some of that, but again, just some thoughts here. So if you're looking for a game that's kind of more like a little bit slower, it's not like super fast clicking, or a really high rate like first-person shooter. If you want a game you can sit down and relax to, this one's good. And I enjoyed it because it was relatively easy to understand the different resources up here: energy, deuterium, minerals, food, and alloys. Your research is pretty easy to understand. It was not difficult for me to follow how to set up your scientist, how to get them researching and moving your tech forward. The hardest thing for me so far has been understanding the planets as far as your colonies. This is because I lack knowledge on Paradox games, so the whole POPs thing still just kind of goes beyond me. I've got a little bit to learn about, okay, how do I balance these right? How do I build the right buildings? How do I really push forward to the next level when it comes to getting the most out of my colonies? I figured out a little bit, and it's been kind of fun. I've even figured out how to terraform different planets through the tech tree, which again has been interesting. So I've had a good time. Look at this. Cardassians are fleeing to our space, trying to get away from the tyranny. I love it. I figured out how to upgrade star bases. I've got better fleets now. This is actually just one of my fleets of like kind of tiny little ships that I've picked up from confederating other, I say confederating, what do you call it? Integrating other factions. I'm gonna actually move these out here. I've been kind of keeping fleets on the outskirts and basically within response time of wherever I need them. I just started a new fleet here where I'm building new Galaxy class designs. Let's go check that out actually. So what's actually cool is if you zoom up in on this game, it actually has some really cool ship models, and they're really fun to look at. It's just that you don't end up spending much time zoomed in. Yeah, these are kind of clipped into the starbase, but again, that's not the thing. But I mean, look at that. Looks pretty. You can get zoomed up on stuff. I've got my starbase, and then the defenses here, our Galaxy class fleet in the makings here. So, and I even have the Enterprise E, because there's a mission tree. Without getting into too many spoilers, if you work a mission tree, you can upgrade the Enterprise. I actually sent the Enterprise out here. I have this far-flung territory where I integrated some smaller factions, and I have the Enterprise out here because it's able to travel all over the place, more like a science ship. It's not necessarily bound by some of the warp limitations that you end up with here. I'll go stick it in orbit over here so we can see the Enterprise. It is right now commanded by Riker, And speaking of, let's get to that really quick. So yeah, there's the Sovereign class Enterprise E. The battles look cool when they're fighting. Like, it's nothing that's going to absolutely blow your mind, but it's fun. But if you look, the leaders tree is fun. There's famous characters. I've had Janeway, I've had Cisco, Worf, Troy is out as an envoy right now. We've had Data, I've had LaForge, I've had all the the crew from TNG, and then Cisco was here on the side of Deep Space Nine. Your leaders do get older and eventually die, which, you know, hey, that makes sense. Like, time is advancing up here. The one gripe that I would throw about leaders is that we did have Commander Data, and Commander Data died of old age. So a small thing that Paradox may want to look at there. Commander Data probably shouldn't die of old age. And if that would make him too overpowered to go longer, then they might want to just think about how to balance that. But it's kind of weird to have Data die of old age at like 90 years old. So wasn't exactly expecting that. Felt like maybe that could have been a little bit better. But other than that, we've mostly had... I think that science ship needs a scientist, in fact. Yeah, it does. So, like, for instance, if you need a new leader, you have to look at the cap on the leaders. Right now, I am actually capped... Or, no, we got an available scientist there. All right, so... Got a scientist. I can now use this ship to continue surveying systems. So it's kind of fun. You survey systems. You see what kind of resources they have. You can plan your expansion. That's what this influence resources is. You need that to recruit new leaders. You need it to expand into new systems.
We have lost a true Federation hero.
There's like that technology where it says, that's another little bug right there. It says we've lost a new Federation hero every time that you get a tech. But then, every now and then, a leader actually does die. So, like, right here, my governor died, and it has the same message. So that's another little bug that Paradox needs to clean up. There are little bugs in the game. Like, 100%, there's bugs there. But it is a relatively cheap game. It only cost me $30 to get into this. It is also a relatively simple game, so I wouldn't want to pay more than $30 to get into it. So, I think that price point is pretty fair, considering how expensive everything is. And again, I'm a very casual player, and I've never put a lot of time into these games, and I've already got 15 hours into this thing, which means that I'm $2 an hour into this. I can afford $2 an hour. If everything else in this world was only $2 an hour right now, I would be thrilled. I paid like $1,000 to get maintenance on my car this week, so I will take $2 an hour any day of the week. That does not seem like a difficult sell for me. Speaking of which, we need to go ahead and get a new governor. In fact, we can get a couple of new ones. It takes that influence again to recruit these, which means that it's going to slow down my expansion. I'll go ahead and recruit one for now. But governors are handy. Basically, you can send them out to your colonies and have them improve the production and stuff of colonies. I have these new colonies out here. I have one governor here, and I was thinking about putting a governor at the other planet if it won't let me. Okay. Maybe that one covers both. I don't know. Let's maybe head out to Akamar.
Research model.
And you can pick different missions for him. Right now I'm going to have him improve specialist production. You have specialists, you have workers. They each cover different jobs that provide different resources. Your governor can help improve stability. They can help improve those. Now, interesting with the Federation, they cannot declare war. I have not yet had to. Now, hear this too. I didn't change any settings on the game. I just hit play. Like, I didn't change any difficulty settings or anything like that. I have not had to fight any wars against the Cardassians, Klingons, or Romulans. The Federation cannot start any wars. I did fight some huge battles against the Nausicaans. They had a couple of pieces of space, and boy, did I get into a huge brawl with the Nausicaans. Captain Cisco and Commander Riker, they went in, helped me knock out the Nausicaans. I had to build a big fleet. It was a lot of fun. And I still have those fleets left over. They're kind of spread through my territory. So see, like over here, I actually have Worf commanding a fleet right now. He's got a lot of Excelsior and Defiant class ships. And then I've got another fleet over here. This one, these are a couple of Intrepid class fleets. But I have some other ships mixed in here. I'll show you these. I'll zoom in. I've actually got them at a star base where I can upgrade them. So you can see I actually have a few Excelsior, but I have a lot of Intrepid class ships over here. The Intrepids aren't that great, but I just haven't gone and recruited new ones in their place. But again, you can see the ship models here, the Excelsior and the Intrepid class, looking very good. Wow, I don't know what that was. Just like really loud weapons fire right in my ear. You can see an old Miranda class mixed in here. So, and I think there's lots of room for the game to be expanded, to add new ship classes, to add new factions. I could see the Ferengi coming in. I could see the Borg becoming a playable faction. I could see, you know, something like the Orions. I could see the Breen, potentially, the Dominion. There is a lot of expandability, so I think if this game does well, we'll probably see Paradox go out and expand it, and that makes a lot of sense that they would want to expand it.
We have surveyed
Again, it's very fun. I think the developers did a good job. I had...
Starfleet vessels improved.
I don't want to spoil all the missions, but some of the biggest shows from the TNG series are represented in the missions that you do. And it makes it quite fun. It references the show. You feel like you're doing little things from the show. Some of it could be a little bit better in the sense that maybe some of them happen a little too fast. They could use a little bit more effort from the player to complete. But other than that, like, it was cool from the standpoint of all the fun stuff from the show being present as you play the game. And that was really, really enjoyable. So I do hope that maybe they can do a couple little touch-up, tune-up things. But other than that, it's been pretty good. The Cardassians did recently lay claim to Maxor Tor here, which means that they may be intending to declare war on them. I have intentionally surrounded them to see if I can kind of get them going. Oh, speaking of, let's talk about diplomacy. So diplomacy has been pretty fun. It hasn't been too terribly difficult to figure out. Let me get to it. It's under contacts here. So you have like this diplomacy menu. You can reach out. You have envoys. Like right here, I have envoys. And so let's say that, for instance, this Bolian democracy, I want to maybe make better relationship with them. I can send an envoy to them. I can improve my relations, which may allow me to eventually, you know, like open up like an embassy. You can insult them to try and, you know, reduce relationships. But again, the Federation can't start a war. We can only kind of goad people. I need to pick new research here because we finished those really quickly. I'm researching extremely fast now because I'm later into the game. And I've just really increased my research speed, so it's going way, way faster. It starts very slow, you kind of get the ball rolling, and then you go, and then as you can see, I now have tons of resources. I can expand basically as much as I want. And this is a late game scenario that we're seeing here, by the way. So again, let's take a look back at the context here to show you those envoys. So let's say that I want to improve my relationship with the Bolians here. Ultimately, as the Federation, you're wanting to get them to integrate with you, because then essentially you take over their space, and as you take over their space, you can take over their civics, and civics are going to be one of the keys to victory. So like right now I have 9 out of 10 civics, and if I get to 12, I just flat out win the game, regardless of whether we've gotten to the time. And so by integrating these different factions, I pick up their civic, which is otherwise very slow and very hard to unlock new ones. So the Federation, in my opinion, seems very powerful because of your ability to integrate these small star systems. Now, of course, you could do that by war with the other ones, which I look forward to trying, because the combat, like I said, was fun. But in any case, it is fun to go through the civics tree, and as you get more of those, like for instance, I can go to the Federation, I now have tons of different civics. You can see that by integrating these factions, like so now migration of pops costs less. Envoys produce energy, you know, just like the weirdest things. Pops generate research now. I have this Marauder flotilla here. Like, so these are all from integrating these others, and you can see it's at -6. I can't put any new ones in because I've gone so far beyond what I should be able to do just from integrating. So the Federation is incredibly powerful when it comes to research, and they're incredibly powerful when it comes to being able to integrate these other factions. I'm trying to remember. So I sent an envoy to the Bolians, and by the way, these major powers, like the Romulans, for instance, we recently got an embassy. You can try and do things like dissolving the neutral zone. You can try to create a trade agreement. So, like for instance, I can do that to try and improve relations. And then the Klingons.
Daggers talk.
I've been working with them a little bit. I probably should have been working with them more, but I haven't done a ton of work. But like here, I can send an envoy out. But it's fun to go after these little factions and integrate them into Federation power. So like these guys, I could go send an envoy out. Now you can take missions You can request missions off of these factions to more quickly increase your standing with them. And those missions vary anywhere from like escort duty to just attending, like a conference, stuff like that. We need to actually get a new scientist here. Let's make sure we don't have any that are available. We do not. So let's grab a new scientist we're going to recruit. And I could take like one of our other scientists, like Janeway, and I could take her off the science ship, for instance, and put her onto this stuff. In fact, we could do that right now. So, like, see, I could move Janeway over to research if she's better at it. Like, again, I haven't spent a lot of time doing this kind of stuff.
Terrain cleared by our planetary engineers.
Looks like we had scientists who were dying there. Let's go and take a look here. We're good on admirals. We're good on scientists, governors. Yeah, we're all good there. But yeah, so you want to keep your envoys busy as the Federation. You want to be out improving relations, not revelations.
Our people
I'm actually integrating the Talarian Republic right now, so you can see it's a slow process. It takes 116 months. But as you get your relationship with them up, you can integrate them and pick up big chunks of space without having to spend your influence and other resources, which again, in my opinion, makes the Federation very powerful. So it made me want to just constantly be sending survey ships out and exploring, finding these new factions, and then integrating them. But in any case, hopefully this gives you all a little bit of an overview here on my thoughts on the game. So if you were wondering whether this one's good to pick up, I think it depends. If you're a big Star Trek junkie like me and you like strategy games, this one's fun. If you don't want to pay the $30, I'll bet you can wait and probably pick it up for cheaper on a sale. But to me, $30 was a pretty good deal. So I was fine. Look at this. See, the Cardassians just went to war with this faction right here. So the Cardassians are at war with them. Again, I can't declare wars, but they can be declared on me. We already got research done.
Testing protocols.
So yeah, anyway, I've had a good time with it. You all tell me what you think down in the comments. Watch out for more streams this week. I do think I want to play as the Romulans, and so I might go stream some Romulan gameplay later this week. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope you all are having a good weekend. I will see you soon.